Just notice, with all due respect, if you haven't watched the previous episode, I suggest you have to watch it first, because it will affect to the story and the deepening of the character. Thank you for your time and enjoy it. After successfully capturing the island of Guam, now the 77th Division is receiving new orders to help the other soldiers fighting on the Okinawa island. Meanwhile, in Okinawa, the Americans managed to repel the Japanese soldiers until they reached the last stronghold. However, with a very difficult terrain, and the Japanese army has benefited from the strategic location, because they could avoid the ground attack by the enemy artillery. Therefore, the American soldiers were forced to climb the cliff with the basic equipment. But unfortunately, it was just a waste of time. The Japanese army can easily fire at them from above and knocked many American soldiers down and suffered serious injuries they won't forget. After the arrival of several infantry from the 77th Division, a sergeant who will lead the assault has given duty to the soldier. The soldiers were given several directions to keep stay down before the frontline soldier gave signal attack. But to be sure, the Japanese army will focus on killing or eliminate the medical personnel, because it's considered a threat to them. When the night falls, the soldiers enjoy the food and go relax seeing the beautiful stars in the sky. Maybe this will be the last time for Desmond and their friend can eat together. Tomorrow in the morning, the airstrike was launched in several targets to secure the area from the Japanese soldiers still roaming on site. Once things started to subside, a sergeant began to inspect on every line of the army. But only Desmond wasn't in the lineup. Without second thought, he immediately told the soldier to look for him. As expected, they found Desmond praying beside on the medical equipment. Desmond almost finished his prayer, but the two soldiers withdrew his hand and forced Desmond to immediately meet the leader. The whole army looked at him, especially the sergeant in his loud voice saying, "Why don't you continue your prayer? We'll keep waiting for you until the Japanese army get out from his hideout. But take my words, if your prayer is wrong, even if you fall or are dying, we're not going to help you, not a bit." The whole army started to climb the cliff. Then, when they got to the top, the whole area is covered by the smoke like a thick fog. The situation at that time was so quiet, until they didn't realize all this time they stepped on some of bodies that were horribly buried. A soldier in the front row began to take a step forward. On the way, Desmond finds a soldier who is still alive, albeit with an incomplete body shape. With a smiling and retrained face, that soldier just wanted to say something. "At least I can taste my own cooking." "Soon I'll open my little restaurant." Yeah, even though my wife is very fierce. Until now, she's still waiting for my cooking. And with the money from this shit struggle, I'm going to make him smile like she used to be. But unfortunately, the dream was dashed. The Japanese army began to come from all directions to besieging the American army. Also, with a cannon that's coming out of his stomach, make confusing the soldier. Where should they go? Desmond can't see anything. All front row or back row soldiers are equally attacking. This war led the Japanese to deploy their entire army, and with easily slaughter an American soldier who looked a bit over a helmet. The whole situation was so chaotic. Many American soldiers died in the battlefield because of the enemy loyalty to his emperor, and about the strategy they have been planning being useless. Desmond tried his best to get the wounded to safely, but the casualties continued to arrive, and the medics increasingly offer helmet when they struggling to handling the soldier, because the Japanese continues to rain down on them with the bomb. By force, the American soldier had no other way, and suddenly the entire army took a step back to go down the hill and back to the base. I took life as a pet. Finally, Desmond woke up after a bomb that nearly got him killed. Then he looked around. There's a lot of pile of bodies, and the rest of the broken weapon that destroyed by the explosion. He began to stand up, take a walk slowly to the edge of the cliff, and immediately return to the base. But in the middle of the trip, there's something holding a Desmond's leg, make him feel so heavy to move. When he looks down, there's a soldier who's still alive, even with a fairly condition. Without thinking long, Desmond immediately took the truck from his back and treated the wounded on his body. Until Desmond has arrived at the edge of the cliff. At the time, he completely silent when seeing how high the cliff that he had climbed. Then he looked at the soldier. In this circumstance, it's impossible to bring him back to base. After walking around, trying to find a good staff, he only found a rope tied to the tree. Maybe it's turned out to be strong enough to withstand the burden of the human body. But the more funny is, he was reminded of his childhood, when his mother worked in the shoes factory and taught Desmond how to tie the ropes properly. With all his might, he endured the pain, because we all realize it. Only God can save this man. Fortunately, the soldier was able to land safely, and this is really a miracle for him. But the point is, now it's Desmond's turn to go down the cliff. But there is a feeling of worry in him, given all the sad things he experienced during his time as a medic. Desmond was realized that he had stepped over many wounded soldiers and was lying, dying. Going down a cliff, it's like letting them die slowly, At that time, he turned to the heaven with all his heart, asking for protection to the Almighty God. I promise you, I will not let the other soldier suffering again when they all fought together in your way. With the book he's always held, Desmond began to searching on every place and go inspecting on the one by one soldier still breathing. Finally, he accidentally found a soldier alive that buried by sand and tree trunks. After finish, he went back to go somewhere else, and he saw a lot of soldiers are dying and waiting for his help. Many of them have broken bones in the leg of blood, or which he often finds the soldiers were hit by bomb fragments, causing a horrific injuries. But all those things keep Desmond going and carrying them one by one to the edge of the cliff. He can't imagine how they could survive from these pretty bad injuries. Time to time, Desmond continued walking slowly, but suddenly he saw several Japanese soldiers heading towards him. Looks like he's gone too far in taking steps and make him unconscious. But the problem is, now he's in the enemy territory. With slowly, Desmond took another path and continued the search. However, he accidentally stepped out on a thin wooden plank, then slipped into the underground. In addition, the military base was shocked by the arrival of wounded soldiers. Staff Sergeant felt very confident that he had told all his troops to retreat from the battle. So for it, the rescue process could not be done because of the chaotic situation on at the time. Then a soldier ran up to the surgeon. He received a report from the guard post that someone had evacuated to rescue the wounded soldier. A few hours later, Desmond began to wake up from his little sleep. He immediately picked up some drugs and tried to find a way out. But arriving from the side, Desmond heard a footstep coming towards him. He began to realize that he had been in the enemy area all along. By surrendering to God, Desmond can only hide behind shadow. Whenever there's change, Desmond tries to find a way out, and hopefully there's a light in this cave. In the end, he saw a small hole and light shining on the place. Perhaps the morning had arrived, so that the light came in from outside. And it's true, Desmond managed to find a way out. But before he came out, he heard a heavy breath, like people with asthma, and the sun was not far from him. Then he looked to the right side, and very clearly, a Japanese soldier was holding wounded. He was stiff in dying. At first, the Japanese did little resistance, but Desmond confronted him calmly, because he knew how the pain that soldier were going through. Then Desmond only gave him a morphine to ease the pain and did little treatment. After making out of the cave, Desmond began to move away from the enemy territory. On the way, he found a soldier lying on the ground, and it was very bad. But that soldier is still breathing. Desmond trying to find another way. His mind is so messed up. There's no tools that can help him. Desmond just needed a stretcher to get the man to the edge of the cliff. With his clothes, he began to take the soldier to the edge of the cliff. But unfortunately, a sniper has figured out their position. Then take a shot and make the whole Japanese army chase Desmond. Knowing that, Desmond ran without looking back. The pain in the legs didn't stop Desmond from helping people. Besides, all the American soldier was hearing some firing gun. Then a sergeant will launch a signal attack and bring more artillery to destroy all the Japanese troops. With very quick, Desmond trying to bring the soldier and himself to go down the cliff, because the Japanese soldier not let him alive. They trying to shooting Desmond. Life or die not accompanying him again. Only his book or his beliefness, also his kindness, can bring him to the right way. After watching Desmond from above, the American soldier were really happy and never stopped the shooting, because they all need Desmond to land safely. One by one, the Japanese soldier take a fall back and letting that magic life. There's a man who sacrificed his future life like any other soldier, although he itself declined to hold arms and refused to kill between fellow human beings, even though it was the enemy. So yeah, Mr. Desmond Tuss, thank you very much for sharing your story. Such it's really inspired me and make all the audience staying on this channel to listening you. So, before you're leaving, please, with all due respect, tell something to our audience on this night. So yeah, thank you for watching on this video, and don't forget to click like, comment and subscribe. And maybe for me, also don't forget to click the bell notification. And from me, thank you very much.